Yeah.
With that charge. Allowed the laser to get off, which made Jabs live, had to pop the Fairy Fire, but obviously worth it. Like,
Yeah.
that was so worth it. And getting the first blood as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all the farm differential that there was in the first few waves, gone. Like, Jabs is just right back to where he wants to be.
Yeah, no doubt. Also, another great rotation from the Crystal Maiden. Faceless have been eager to rotate anytime Jabs get some pressure. So CM was there, had the Frostbite, and allowed them to turn it around in the Storm, or else he probably would have zipped away. So with the free lane, Black has decided to go for the Hand of Midas down bottom. We'll see Lil initiated on. Jabs with the burst damage, and follow-up is there. They'll find the kill as Storm zips in. Still not half mana pool. XY has charge in 1 second. Nuts hits him with the Frostbite, but they're not going to go for it. Okay. No way to spring onto the trees, and they'll pick up another one. Spirit Breaker gets credit for the kill. Very nice. Abaddon pops the bar. Now level 7. He's getting a lot of farm down in this bottom lane. Ramses and Solo will rotate in, but things looking very good for Faceless. A couple of stacks here in the jungle for Jabs now, and we'll see him start to clear these out, furthering his farm. How big's this lead?
Yeah, this is
2,500. Pretty sizable at 10 minutes.
Yeah, again, it's pretty much all attributed to the positioning of the supports. Like, Nuts and XY have been pretty much everywhere they've needed to be, exactly when they've needed to be there. Although I would say the first fight that kind of broke out near Faceless Shrine, it was a bit ambitious, like trying to go for that kill. It's very tempting to try to get the Tinker down that early in the game because it kind of keeps him from getting to his Boots of Travel just that much longer. But, you know, with those stacks, you know, Jabs is more than halfway to his Boots of Travel recipe, and that's already having the Soul Ring completed and the bottle on top of that. So his farm is pretty much just as good as it would be if he free farmed mid.
Yeah, it's great. Spirit Breaker moving into the urn just about has that completed. Great value item on this hero. Gives him a lot more uptime when he's outside of the base. We'll see a charge down bottom. Onto Lil. We just saw this story not too long ago. Let's see if it has a different ending this time. Nice stun from Lil. Interrupts the charge from XY, and that will keep him alive. Nicely done. Easy.
It's really smart, actually, from XY to continue to charge that, though, because if you think about it, you know, Ramses is not showing in lane because he knows he can farm jungle, so he wants to get Lil level 6. He wants to get him that Wukong's command so they can actually start to take some team fights. But because he knows that, and there's not really a whole lot of save on the side of VP, it's just a free charge. It's like every single time, okay, you're going to cast Boundless Strike or you're going to die.
Yeah. Up top, Black with the Hand of Midas. Ring of Health picked up now. Pasha has been able to secure his Arcane Boots, level 7 on the Magnus, so he's had actually an okay time in the offlane. Only 600 net worth behind that of the Abaddon. One of the nice things about Magnus that he can farm some stacks, he can work down the jungle. He has gone for this Shockwave build, so not maxing out in power. Kind of a traditional Magnus, I guess, is a way to describe it.
Oh, by the way, I lied when I said that Empower was 60 mana. It's 90 mana. I actually misspoke, yeah. I thought it was 60. I don't know why I had that number in my head, but yeah, it's definitely 90.
I think it used to be. But
as we were talking about, keeping the Empower up is just super difficult. He's even got the raindrops on, and he'll still potentially lose mana once he gets to level 4. But yeah, the top tier one's going to go down there. I still feel like VP need to assert themselves on the map somewhere, you know? It's like they're not really pushing bottom. Ice just picked up his Midas. He's level 9. It's only 12 minutes into the game. Jabs is, you know, on point for his Blink Dagger timing. You know, 4 or 5 minutes he'll probably have it. You know, I haven't really seen anything so far out of VP that says, hey, we're in the game, you know? I mean, sure, you can wait for no one to get Bloodstone before you do anything. It's not necessarily a bad play, but passively playing against Tinker and Morph is rough.
Oh, down bottom, Lil unable to get off the Boundless Strike. XY there with the Nether Strike. Now Pasha, skewer forward, nice RP on 2, sets it up. Ice will fall, but Faceless still have some resources here. Spirit Breaker getting low, but Jabs has some damage. Black, he's rotated in now, and it's VP that are low on resources. They are going to be able to scurry away, it seems. Maybe Faceless finish off this tier 1 tower down here. But in the end, they only lose their Abaddon, so could have been a lot worse, even though it is a big rotation.
I think
they
he
did kill the
actually would
Monkey
have
King,
lived.
so it's 1 for 1.
Yeah, the Monkey King went down, but I think that's the second time Ice has just used borrowed time aggressively. Like, he was using it to break stuns to continue the dive, right? And that time ended up costing him his life, which, like you mentioned, it's not really the end of the world. It's the first kill that VP have gotten in the game so far, and they're still able to apply a decent amount of pressure to the tier 1 in the bottom lane. But yeah, you can see VP are kind of just scattering at the moment. They do have very, very good late game. So, like we were mentioning, it's okay to keep farming, but at some point, you know, when that Tinker has Blink Dagger and Boots of Travel and you haven't killed him a single time, and you committed for like 4 or 5 creep waves, it's kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, well, yeah, you but is it actually worth it at that point?
Yeah, and the other thing to consider is that Faceless doesn't have bad late game themselves. You know, it's not a problem for Virtus Pro to take it late, but Faceless are pretty comfortable to do that themselves, especially given the Midas advantage. It's 2 Midas on the side of the Dire, none on the side of the Radiant. Troll has just gone for Vlad's, looks like S and Y, so pretty standard fighting items. But Faceless will be able to scale pretty darn well into this game. You know, like Aghanim Scepter on Abaddon, for example, some really big teamfight items they can pick up that'll extend that window where, you know, the mid game is plausible. You see Ice, just very aggressive positioning in the mid lane. Not a care in the world. Level 11, putting a lot of pressure on this tier 1 tower. This right here is just a great example of how little control Virtus Pro has around the map right now.
Well, he didn't really have a particularly hard lane. Like, he's almost tied for net worth with the freaking Storm right now on DP.
Up top, Monkey King, he drops the Wukong's command. They actually catch the Tinker. Storm gets credit for the kill, so they get a nice pick up top. Something in exchange for this tier 1 tower mid.
I mean, the Tinker kill before Blink Dagger is actually a pretty big deal. I don't know if it's worth trading a tier 1 mid big deal, but, you know, the longer time that no one can farm before the Tinker actually has the Blink Dagger, I think is a good thing.
Up top,
oh,
charge
that's not far
onto
enough.
The Storm. Oh, it's going to catch him. Another strike is there. He even gets another bash on top of it. No one does have a little bit of mana. Nuts trying to get in for the Frostbite. Misses the Frost Nova, but Black has the waveform forward. Adaptive Strike and Rockets will finish him off. Jabs finds some vengeance as he gets credit for the kill. Another nice counter pick here as the Storm falls. Bottom lane, it's just Ice pushing back Ramses. Okay.
That was a really unfortunate charge. I think that no one knew he was being charged, but he didn't actually know where exactly the Spearbreaker was. So he did the normal play, which is I'm going to ball really far away and just instantly TP and hope for the best. Problem is, you know, XY maxed his charge. So he's traveling super fast. And, you know, most of the time when you're playing Storm, you actually want to ball into the charge because you're invulnerable during it, and the charge stun actually won't hit you. But he didn't have vision, so it was just a blind guess. And unfortunately, he just reacted a little bit too late. So a big pickoff for the side of Faceless.
Absolutely. Glancing at the graph, holding steady at this 4K net worth lead, about a 2,000 experience edge. Nothing outlandish. Bloodstone on the way for Storm, but the big pickup for Virtus Pro is Pasha with the Blink Dagger. Well, maybe they can make a play on the back of this Magnus with a Blink RP.
It's definitely a game changer, no question. It's just a matter of, you know, how tough is it to utilize the Blink? Like, who do you... I mean, ideally, I guess you RP the Tinker. Ice. Could be in trouble.
Yeah, borrowed time.
Gonna pop the borrowed time.
He will live. Nice use of the cooldown. Oh, RP,
oh,
here we go.
Won.
And now he's dead. Okay. Well played by Pasha, though. No hesitation.
I think that's fine, though. Like, I think a lot of Magnus players just really want to get more flashy RPs, but if you just got your Blink Dagger and you RP, like, within a minute of having that Blink and it gets a kill, that is so worth.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a lot of times where you run around looking for the perfect opportunity that's just never going to show itself. So, yeah, RP whoever you see, especially if it's a core. Ice has a freaking Midas, and it's off cooldown right now. He is staring at that Midas right now, Zayori, and he is dying inside because he cannot use his Midas. That is the worst. When you just die and your Midas comes off cooldown.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Midas Gaming here, look who it is. Old Crystal Maiden has the Midas queued up. So that's going to be triple Midas coming out for Faceless in the not-too-distant future. The greed is real.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense in the way that, you have a Tinker on your team, so you just kind of assume the game is going to stretch out.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily, care if it goes to super late game because you got Morphling, you got Tinker, you got this Abaddon who's got a ton of farm. But you also know that your Crystal Maiden is going to be pretty limited if you don't have any items.
Well, Black's got the Lincoln Sphere, gets showed off up top as Solo breaks it. Now the charge in from the Spirit Breaker. Storm, low on mana, does not get the invulnerability that you were talking about, does manage to stop the Nether Strike from completing, and he might still yet survive as VP in full retreat, but they are a group of 5, and everybody makes it back as Empower comes out from Magnus. So no kills, but I guess Faceless win the intimidation factor on that one.
It kind of shows the strength of the Spirit Breaker into the Storm as well. Because there are some heroes in the game that make you use your mana very, very poorly as a Storm. Like, PA is a good example because she has very low cooldown spells, so she could just jump on you, right, over and over again. Slardar, another great example, super fast. They kind of just run at you, and they say, you gotta keep using Ball Lightning, or we're going to hit you in the face. And that makes it very difficult to play Storm into, right? Because then you have to ball away. You never want to be balling away. You always want to be going in for a kill.
Right. Wow. Ice 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 going into the Radiance on the Abaddon. Why not? The hardest part is farming it up, and he's almost at the Relic. He's got 3,100.
Yeah, he's freaking rich.
He is balling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, I think that the first time we're going to see really any aggressive movement coming out of VP is once the Storm finishes the Orchid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Tread's Bloodstone. He's level 14. It's not like he's not super farmed. He's doing okay. It's just that the Morphling and the Tinker are just doing a bit better. Yeah. And that Midas on Black is paying off big time. Like, he's got Lincolns and Ghost Scepter with the Aquila, with the Midas. It's 20 minutes in. Like, you give him another 5-6 minutes, he's going to have that E-Blade.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be in a situation where you can potentially just be exploded before you can react.
Well, this will be a step in the right direction for VP. Lil pump fakes the Wukong's command as they finish off Roche. He turns into an Aegis. What a great bait that would be.
I wonder if that's ever going to happen. Like, there's 2 Aegis in the pit, and one of them's the Monkey King. And for whatever reason, instead of picking up the Aegis like you would just normally do, he just leaves it there.
Oh, my. You know, you never know. Stranger things have happened.
That's fair. In the meantime, they do manage to find the Ogre in the mid lane, so not a huge kill by any means, but it's something.
Yeah.
I think that for now, Faceless are probably... They're probably just going to... Are they going to try to defend top? I guess Ramses... Yeah, he's out of there. Ramses isn't top either.
Here come the TPs. Tinker has Aetherlens Blink, so a little extra reach, extra damage on those rockets and lasers. Now just a little bit harder to catch as well with the Blink Dagger. Ramses, he's holding onto the Aegis for now. He's got S&Y and BKB coming up next for the Troll. Very close. Actually, only about 500 gold off. Yeah, Troll farming very nicely.
At this point in the game, it's more just about like the Storm, I think. That's really the hero they absolutely need to be farmed in order to really do what they want to do. Because he's their only reliable, pure catch. Like, Pasha can go in and throw out a random RP, sure. But it's not guaranteeing you anything. Whereas a Storm Initiation is pretty much going to kick off a fight one way or another. And, you know, if you catch the wrong person with an RP, it can very easily be turned around. So ideally, you know, the Storm goes in first, and the RP comes after.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. TP charge into the trees. This time he'll live. XY just a little too far away to find the connection. And back to farming we go. Ramsey's just putting pressure on all over the map, and feels like Jab's kind of playing ping pong, trying to just keep up with him, push out the waves, keep these tier 1 towers healthy. Doing a very good job, but Ramsey's pretty unrelenting in the pressure and farming very efficiently. As such, Storm's progress on the Orchid. He's got the first Oblivion Staff, second one Well, still pretty far off. But slow and steady here.
I mean, we do always have that troll factor where, you know, I don't know what Ramsey's preferred item build is, but a lot of the time you see the Shadow Blade, a lot of the time you see the Blink. If he gets empowered and he jumps on somebody, there is a chance that they just die. You know, they get bashed, they can't really react to it. There's no saving item yet, I believe, on the side of Faceless. There's no Glimmer, no Force, or anything like that. So there's always the little bit of RNG on that. But, you know, VP, they're kind of picking up the pace a bit here. They're walking from lane to lane. They're getting some towers. Tier 1's going to fall.
Yeah, starting to get some more confidence.
They can, you know, they get these towers down. They open up the map a little bit. Once the Storm finishes up that second item, then it's going to be, okay, let's get some aggressive wards down. Let's go for some kills. Try to make use of the Aegis, perhaps, which I guess is why they're just taking every single tier 1.
Yeah. Trolls BKB been up for a little while now, and Magnus has actually gone back for a Hand of Midas. So another one of these heroes where attack speed definitely not lost on him. Kind of curious what he transitions into now. If he just goes like force refresher kind of mobility items, or if we're going to see Magnus try to transition into a little bit of, you know, right clicking, like Echo Saber type stuff.
I think Shadow Blade Force are like the most common purchases, just because you don't really want the enemy team to see you when you're playing Magnus. You want them to forget that you're there. You know, the best thing that can happen for a Magnus is the enemy team gets caught up in the team fight. They clump up just a little bit too much and then RP. That's the perfect thing. So having a Force Staff, a Blink, and a Shadow Blade in conjunction means you can stay really, really far away. You can also be invisible. And then inevitably it kind of happens. You know, maybe once or twice a game they're just like, oh, yeah, there's a Mag on the other team. We just got 3-man RP'd. That's like the dream scenario.
Okay. I feel you. Both teams kind of playing a game of chicken right now, roaming around as a group looking for opportunities. But both being very cautious about their positioning and not providing the other with any straggler to be picked off. Monkey King, not without trying, as a little jumps around. He's got the Solar Crest. And this Orchid very close. Storm like one creep kill out. So this is it for VP. This is where you start turning up the aggression. Yeah.
The unfortunate part of the timing that it coincides with the Orchid is that the Aegis is now gone. So even though they have the Orchid, they no longer have the benefit of Ramses being able to kind of just YOLO into the team fight. Although I say that, he is insanely farmed, actually. 17k net worth in a 25-minute game. He hasn't really even been empowered that much. He's had it a couple of times, but for the most part, you know, Pasha's just been kind of chilling out, you know, doing his own thing.
Yeah, they've been.
I think a lot of that has to actually do with the empower nerf.
Yeah, Ramses has been playing. Oh, it's almost been like a 4+1 type style where he's just off farming while the rest of the team is looking for opportunities to make space, and it's paid off. He's got Scotty queued up, not too far away. Did I just see a Dagon? Absolutely, that's jabs. So not going for the Aghanims, but now moving into the burst damage.
It's good synergy with the E-Blade. Black picked it up, so he's got the E-Blade plus Dagon. That's like if you're on point with your Tinker and you're paying attention to like who Black is targeting in the team fights, that hero is just gonna pop. Yeah, you're just gone.
Yeah. They're going to make this beefy ogre even with a cloak. Cut right through it. All right, so all just waiting for the opening. 11 kills, 26 minutes. Definitely a much more farm-oriented matchup as we see the Scotty now completed on the Troll. Looking at the graph, old Nessie coming out to see us. This game was once a pretty good lead for Faceless, slowly farmed back to an even spread experience advantage going the way of the Radiant Troll. 3 levels up on the Morphling. Wow, impressive.
Yeah, he's been alone pretty much the entire game. I think Black has played a little bit more around his team even because, you have a Tinker as well, just kind of soaking up farm in the side lanes and whatnot. So it's kind of just expected that, either Nuts or XY are going to be kind of in the vicinity. VP spot him out.
Yeah, looking for the opening. They do get the Boundless Strike opener, and Nuts will fall. So quick pick on the Crystal Maiden. The rest of Faceless back up, and looks like that's where the skirmish will end. All right.
I mean, it's a kind of a methodical game from both teams, and to a degree, you know, it's kind of because of the drafts.
Yeah.
Where, you know, VP are actually want to play the aggressors eventually. It's just so hard. Like, if you initiate poorly as Storm in this game against, like, the Dagon Tinker and the E-Blade and the Morphling, no one is going to be close enough to save you. That's kind of one of the biggest problems that they're running into right now is, like, okay, he's got this Orchid and this Bloodstone, and you really want to fight. However, if he balls in by himself and there's, like, another hero in Fog, he doesn't have a Linken's to protect himself from Spirit Breaker, so he could just be getting charged. He could get, you know, E-Blade, Dagon lasered and just die instantly.
Right.
There's a lot of factors that he has to really deal with first before he's going to feel fully confident in just like starting these fights.
Down bottom, Black initiated on and obliterated. The entire team converges on him. Ice 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 has borrowed time. He'll have to use it, and very nicely done by VP. Actually, no follow-up damage. Ramses pops the BKB, goes in a little bit early. Monkey King just completely destroys my server, drops the ult, and it looks like Faceless are starting to get cleaned up as Storm zips all over the place. VP take the fight, 1 for 3.
Ramses, if you were dropping some frames there, I can break it down. Ramses ran at them and hit everyone really hard.
Looks like it.
He just literally popped KB. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Storm, a little too deep, but XY, maybe the same thing. There's Pasha with the RP on
That's a
2.
buyback.
Tinker, he goes down. And all of a sudden,
no.
this stings so much worse for Faceless. As you said, the dieback for Tinker. Look at that recap, and it's another big gain. They force out the glyph. They get about half damage onto the tier 3. And VP just back out. They're not going to press their luck here.
Just giving the Tinker a dieback is enough. That's huge economical damage. Like, look at the net worth on the Tinker now comparative to what it was a couple of minutes ago. Like, he's
Jeez.
dropped below the Storm. He's
like
half
at
the
the
Troll's
Magnus.
net worth. Yeah.
Oh.
That actually just crippled them so hard. I mean, it was just a really nice series of events there from Virtus Pro because the first thing that happened, obviously, they catch out Black. Ice 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 TPs into the tower, gets his borrowed time popped instantly. Speaking of being popped.
Ogre.
That cloak.
There we go. Miscoil to finish him off, but now Black counter-initiated on by no one. Big follow-up from Ramses, and they make Black look squishy. They go 1 for 1. Actually,
Roche
the
is going to
advantage
be up
goes VP.
before he respawns. Yeah, this is looking tricky right now for Faceless. So the strength of the Storm is starting to show. Being able to just jump in on the Morphling. I don't think he can buy Scotty. He has it on his hot buy right now, but I actually think that he can't buy that item. It either needs to be a BKB or it needs to be a Manta. Or something like that can get him out, you know? Because if the Storm jumps him like that, and his Linken's is just immediately popped, he's going to die. For sure. The Troll does insane damage. He's got Bloodlust and Power. If he gets on you, you're going down.
Do you like
question.
the Hurricane Pike?
It kind of serves the same purpose, except instead of just a self-save, it's also a save for his teammates. So,
Right.
you know, for whatever reason, if they jump on jabs instead of him, he can save jabs. You know, because once that Orchid is used, that's their big kill potential, right? Is having that Storm Orchid somebody into a pole and then they plop him over. But they do secure Roche in the meantime, VP.
Yeah.
And it went from looking like pretty good to really not good in the course of like 4 minutes.
I mean, dude, that gold graph tells it all. That's exactly how this game has gone. Faceless had a slow, methodical early game that gave him a nice advantage, and in the flick of a switch, Virtus Pro has brought it back, and they are now the aggressors. They have control. Troll Warlord is out of control. He's at 22k net worth. Next highest is Black on the Morphling at only 16k, about even there with the Storm. So getting a lot more lopsided, and you know that E-Blade verse damage that we were talking about now feeling a little bit less scary. Troll with 2.8k HP and still a 9-second charge on the BKB. So going to be a while before that thing gets down to 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting dynamic if you think about it, though, because of the item build that, you know, Morphling naturally progresses into, is actually still countered by Storms, because Storm goes for the Orchid second item, and by the time he has his second item, you don't have anything to dispel Orchid.
Yeah.
So you actually need an additional item past that in order to be able to deal with him jumping on you, which means
he
if you
switched to
utilize
Manta.
your E-Blade combo,
He knows.
yeah, they're gonna kill solo here, I think. Oh, maybe not.
Nice boundless strike. RP on 2. Pasha with the skewer across. Again, Monkey King drops the ultimate. Black getting low, but it looks like he'll be able to survive through it. Still, BKB Troll doing huge damage as he dives past the tower. Jab's getting low. It's going to be a dead Tinker. And Ice 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 also going to go down as well. You know, Draskell, I'm not going to lie. I hope they ban Monkey King in Game 2 just so I can see these damn team fights. I don't know what is happening, but Wukong's command is actually destroying me right now. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you don't have to apologize to me.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
I can see the
apologizing
fights
to the
just fine.
thousands of fans out there, but I was talking in your direction. Either way, VP, man, they're going high ground, and they're going to do some crippling damage here. Skewer back. They're going to bring a bad and low. He does not have borrowed time. It's down for another 5 seconds. They'll pop him. No buyback available there. Troll does lose the Aegis, but they get the tier 3. Now the replicate will fall, and the barracks exposed without a glyph will start taking a lot of damage. They focus on the range barracks for some sure damage. A couple of respawns. Solo gets popped by Black, and VP will just retreat.
God, man, VP hit their timing, and they hit their timing. Like, the instant the 10-second BKB came out on Ramses, they made use of it. You know, they made Jebs die back. They kill him again in the middle fight. They take the tower. They kill Ice Ice Ice. They get the tier 3. They get the shrine on the way out. Like, everything about VP's play this game has been crisp and efficient on top of everything else. Like, they're not losing out anywhere. Everyone's getting what they need out of the map. You know, we talked about Solo kind of being the sacrificial lamb. He was sitting mid for a while. He got a little bit of advantage for his Storm play in the first couple of waves, and it paid off. Like, that's really all you needed from it, was the Storm to be able to come into his own and kind of, you know, force pressure onto the side of Faceless. So now we're at this juncture where Black needs another, like, 3,000 gold in order to feel safe. And that's a really scary place to be when you don't have anything to farm because your Tinker is going to spam all the waves.
Yeah, that is the problem with a greedier draft like this. Once you get locked on the map where you're sort of like in this little quadrant, yeah, there's not enough farm to go around. You can see the Morphling still pretty far off from the Manta style alone. And all the while, BKB soon to be bought on Storm, and Troll pretty much 6-slotted now. He's picked up the Satanic. So even more survivability, more stats. He's got 3,400 HP. Sanjin Yasha, the next thing to be replaced, but Ramses is looking pretty capped. And Monkey King, he already has the Basher, so that means Abyssal on the way as he picks up the Vanguard. Even more lockdown.
This is like an insane level of farm on Ramses. I don't actually know how they're supposed to kill him. Like, the E-Blade combination with the Dagon is supposed to be like their ace in the hole, right? That's how they get a hero kill.
Yeah.
They pretty much need to kill everybody but Ramses, because he's going to BKB, and he's pretty much just going to run at you, and there is very, very little they can do, because he's so fast. Like,
Yeah.
Bloodlust on top of just the phase boots, he's already running at, like, haste speed with just those two things.
Yeah.
And
It's-
he's got a
it's
blink as
insane.
well to close the gap.
It's actually insane. And ever since Tinker had that dieback in the bottom lane, you can feel how crippled he's been. The momentum just stopped. He's still on level 1 Dagon. He's got the Hex queued up, 2,200 gold, still pretty far away. I mean, at this point, this game might end before he has the Hex. If Faceless lose one more team fight, I mean, VP can just do so much damage to their base. They'll finish off the last outer tower, so now every lane exposed. Pasha, Invisibility Rune, maybe looking for initiation on Ice Ice Ice, but they don't even need it. Just to skewer back to pull him further away, as now no one jumps in, drops the Vortex. Beautiful Boundless Strike on 2. Monkey King, again, drops the ult, and it looks like the Dire are just fallen. PowerPoint's one of my favorite programs. Any buybacks coming out? Nope, the 2 dead do not have buybacks available. Ice, 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 no more borrowed time. Glyph will keep things alive. Cheeky little play in the mid lane here as Black presses forward. Looks like he'll try to cut the wave. But down bottom, they'll just go right through backdoor protection. Ramses will finish off the ranged barracks, and they have creep waves pretty nearby. It's a cool play from Black. I like the thought process, but I don't know that this is actually going to stop the push. Maybe it will. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it will, actually. Yeah, I think it's enough time.
Okay.
Because now it's only 10 seconds until the supports are up and the Tinker's got mana again. So that play actually just saved 2 sets of melee racks at least.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they get the range and they get out. You're not really getting the map control back, but you know, you kept your base alive. That's kind of the icing on the cake, I suppose. He does have his Manta. It's a start, you know. Like, he probably still needs more on top of this, because just the sheer rate at which, you know, Ramses is farming, and The Storm is kind of neck and neck with them. They're gonna go on the replicate here in the middle lane. But yeah, it's
What do you get next on
it's not an
Troll?
easy road back.
Do you ditch the S and Y for just raw damage, like MKB or Crit or Bloodthorn or something?
I don't actually know if he needs to replace anything. I would actually not mind something like the
Moonshard?
Fusel just because I would expect... Yeah, Moonshard obviously is very good too because you don't have to sacrifice an inventory slot. Like Bots, Moonshard, and then maybe the Fusel just because, you know, no one has a Ghost Scepter on Faceless. I really feel like they should.
Here we go. CM initiated on. Glimmer Cape buys her an extra second of life, but Ramses continues the godlike streak. They do lose their Magnus, however. Too much burst damage will bring him down. Monkey King initiated on, has the ultimate, holding it for now, drops the Abyssal, but he gets blown up. Dagon's there, and it's a 1-for-2. Black on the hunt, looking for the Storm, but a little too much mana on no one, and he's probably going to be able to zip away here. He also has the BKB. Black maybe needs to be a little bit careful. He's got some friends coming. Troll not that far away. It looks like things will just peter out. Okay. Good stuff for Faceless, though.
Some very much needed map presence for them. Like, they're able to split their heroes up. They're able to farm efficiently for the first time in what seems like, you know, 10, 15 minutes. But they haven't really been able to do that. So it's what I would call a breath of fresh air for the team. Because between having those 3 heroes all farming greedily along the map, like Ice 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 with his Radiance, Shivas, and his Midas, and Jabs playing Tinker, and, you know, Black with his Midas, they're all looking to try to hit creeps.
Yeah.
And the smaller of a map you have, the worse those heroes work together. Like, it just becomes like this compounded issue where eventually you kind of just break under the pressure because you just can't keep up.
Yeah.
Like, there's not enough items to go around for everyone.
Well, it looks like Ice 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 has actually changed his mind. He's queued up the Octarine core. Oh, did he buy the Aghanims? Is it coming on the courier? Yep, there it is. Okay, so he'll go Aghanims, Octarine. The Aghanims on Abaddon is an absolute game changer, though. Redirect, 50% damage, 900 radius. Around Arthas here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's super good. It's actually pretty easy to utilize as well against this team.
Yeah.
Because you know exactly who they want to go on.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't get caught by the RP or something. That's kind of the only thing that can really mess it up. Roche is up.
Oh, no,
will go right in.
You can just pop ulti when you get RP'd.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. I guess
Yeah, you can just
positioning-wise
hold
with
on
the
to it.
skewer, but yeah. Good call. Okay. Roche falls.
They're just going to go on this, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they kill it so fast. Now Storm zips in. They go right in onto the Abaddon. There's the ultimate. They force it out nice and early, and they might still be able to bring him down. Glimmer Cave going to expire in a second. They even have a dust. BKB popped by Storm. They really want this kill. Primal Spring falls a little bit short. No one's still zipping forward. Actually moves up to the high ground. RP on 2 from the Magnus. Skewer back. Monkey King drops the ult. They'll be locked in place. And Heroes on the Dire dropping like flies, trying to retreat back towards the shrines. Buyback now on the Tinker. And XY charging out. Looks like that'll be it. Not even a single kill. Everyone on Virtus Pro still alive. Another pretty good fight.
By the
Very
way-
convincing.
How silly is it that without boots, Troll is currently running at 448 movement speed?
It's a little nutso.
He doesn't even have boots.
Well,
That's
in
just
fact,
silly.
he has phase boots and BOTs. Just hanging in the back.
Well, yeah, but not like he's
Yeah.
not getting the benefit of them.
I mean, the
But
S
yeah,
and
you're
Y
right, he does.
basically makes up for it. It's pretty cool. It's a cool concept, you know? It's just boots plus all the other stuff.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, Berserker's Rage is pretty much just like having boots anyway, as long as you're in melee form, because you get the 40 bonus movement speed.
Oh,
I mean, it's not like exactly the same, but it's close.
Still, yeah. Well, bottom melee barracks will be finished off. No fight with the Abaddon dead. Faceless don't really want to force anything here. Now the zip across onto XY. BKB popped by Ramses. They'll finish off the tier 3. There's the glyph on the buildings. Remember, he still has Aegis here, so Ramses can afford to go a little deep if he wants to. No one now zips in, jumps right onto the Morphling. Black starting to morph. Monkey King drops the ult again. And looks like it's going well for the Radiant. I see Spirit Breaker obliterating. Nuts trying to channel the ultimate, but it won't go for long. And I think we're close to GG territory here, Draskell. Tinker's
Yeah, I
going to
think
get
this
caught.
is the end right here.
Black actually saves him with the, or pardon me, Ice 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 saves him with the ultimate, and they turn on the Storm. It's a cute little play showing off the power of the Aghanim's Abaddon, but it will come at the cost of Megas, and just creating space for his team to finish off the structures, RP to make sure it happens, and they will just back out now that Megas are secured. Troll does go down. That'll be the end of his 9x godlike streak. That's actually Troll's first death of the game, now 9-1-11, as Solo on the retreat will not be able to make it out. So a little bit of cleanup for Faceless, but as they say, Draskell, they did not hold.
Yeah, they got Megan. That's like the opposite of holding, I think. But I think it just really all boiled down to that one like really strong timing that Virtus Pro hit. And when they hit that timing, they did probably like the most economical damage they could deal outside of just straight up getting the racks. You know, making the Tinker die back at that point in the game when like his item progression is super crucial, and then Black getting punished like 2 or 3 times in a row for not having an escape against the Orchid. Like they coordinated everything so well. Their positioning was pretty much right on point. They're gonna find the Tinker again here.
Are they?
But I guess it's just no one here.
Yep. No follow-up. Monkey King has to blink defensively. Jabs on the hunt. Monkey King kind of pump faking the ultimate. I want to look away. But it looks like Faceless won't find anything. Well, I guess of all the lineups, I mean, they can hold off Megas pretty effectively.
Yeah, they can for sure. March is enough. You know, you have your Abaddon with his Radiance and Shiva's Guard. He can tank the Megas. I mean, realistically speaking, VP just wait out another Roche, and then they can just go end the game. Or they can just, you know, walk mid currently with their Storm that has like 5 items, and their Troll who is pretty much hard 6 slotted, and he's got a Moon Shard, and bots too, and 3,500 gold. I mean, heck, he's going to start buying his teammates Moon Shards at this point.
Yeah. I mean, that's seriously the point. Yeah, that's where we're at. One more fight for VP. Looking at buyback status, pretty grim for the Dire. It's basically just Abaddon, and that's it. So pretty much one team fight away, or lost team fight, I should say. Slow and steady here for Virtus Pro. They just need to wait for the opening. They've got the Monkey King still smoked up, kind of scouting things out, but Pasha with the skewer back catches the Abaddon. Great play to isolate Ice 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 so he can't use the ultimate in a 5v5 setting. Now they're going to have a 30-second window where they can try to make a go.
I think they want to actually wait for the creep wave to slow push in. I think that's probably one of the better things they can do. I mean, they're really far ahead, so they want to just force it they can.
Yep. Troll goes up to the front line. Double Hex turned into a piggy twice. Very annoying as he throws some right clicks into the tower. Ramsey's very focused on objectives right now. Now no one jumps forward. Abaddon does have his ult back up. Ice 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 will be able to survive, but now on the other side, it's Spirit Breaker that's getting locked down. Nuts taking a lot of damage. XY charging forward, but RP on 2. Pasha sets it up again with the MK ult on 3 and just destroys the side of Faceless. Ice 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 destined to fall this time without the ultimate available. And Black will go in and try to do what little he can.
I mean, they're holding this.
They picked 2, yeah. Now that the Monkey King ult has ended, it looks like Black is actually going to be able to clean this up. Ice 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 survived, and in the end, VP, they try to force it too hard here, Draskell, and they're going to get cleaned up. Magnus, the only survivor.
They just committed so hard to kill Ice Ice Ice, and they didn't get him down. Like, they popped the ulti, and then no one committed a lot of mana, and I think also Ramses went on him for a little bit there as well, assuming that, you know, his ultimate wasn't going to be back up. But the problem was, it was up, because he has the cooldown reduction talent, so it's only on a 34-second cooldown. And then it got popped, and then instead of like going back to try to hit other heroes, I think Ramses kept committing, and then he got glimmered when they didn't have any detection. So like they're under tier 4 towers, pretty much at this point, fighting for a very, very long time against that Radiance Burn, you know, the Shivas, the Aphotic Shields popping, dealing damage over time. It was probably like the best possible engagement that Faceless could have asked for, because they committed a ton without killing the ABBA. That's like the perfect engagement for them.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And that short cooldown on borrowed time really coming into play. With the Octarine core, it is down to 25.5 seconds. And the uptime is 7 seconds. So it's pretty serious. You know, that you could tell Storm committed thinking that maybe he wouldn't have that second borrowed time, but oh, it was there. And Manta Style actually going to be coming out on the event next.
That's like the good and the bad thing, though, about this build, is that you really want heroes to attack you. But when they stop attacking you, you don't really do that much, right? Like, the Storm can ignore you because he's extremely mobile, and the Troll can ignore you because he's extremely mobile. And Monkey King is just going to drop his ulti, so all his stuff is like AoE damage anyway. It comes to a point where they want to pop Ice 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 borrowed time like as soon as humanly possible, but they don't actually want to commit to him unless they know for sure it's a kill. It was just an execution error by VP to go on him when his ultimate was actually not on cooldown. So I don't think they'll make that mistake twice. Because when you're playing on the aggressive as Abaddon, you kind of rely on being able to run a hero down in order to kill it. You're not going to run down the Troll. You're not going to run down the Storm. You're not going to run down the Magnus. I mean, even the Monkey King, I would say, is pretty tricky to run down at this point. So the way they just took that fight there is the only way they'll win a fight.
Well, the hold continues. What's the timer on Roche? Looks like about a minute and a half or so. I think probably worth waiting for from the Virtus Pro perspective. We've already talked about a lot of their itemization. A couple of their heroes getting pretty close to capped out. They've got a lot of aura items. You know, Ogre's got Pipe, Vlad's offering. They've pretty much covered all of their bases. So at this point, it's just luxury items. I mean, even the Aegis feels like it doesn't even really do that much at this point.
I mean, it means that Ramses can drop his boots again. I mean, that's actually pretty good thing for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to... He doesn't want to hold on to the boots if he doesn't have to, because then it means that he can save his BKB, and like he can just go into the base, you know, start wailing on somebody, maybe force a buyback, and then potentially use BKB for retreat, or, you know, just end the game if it happens to work out that way.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, you know, Faceless doing a pretty good job at holding the Magus. It's taking a little bit of time for BP to get the resources they need to actually go high ground, and, you know, Black's working on his own 6th item. So he's got the Hand of Midas now in his backpack, and he's working towards Satanic of his own.
Yeah, a sliver of hope for Faceless. I mean, Black can push pretty effectively if they manage to win a fight. So definitely some hope. What are BKBs at? Everything down to 5 seconds now, I think. Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fresh ones. Nope. Still no BKBs on the Dire. But not really a great BKB game for them, to be totally fair. Does not really do a hell of a lot against Troll.
Yeah, I think the only person who could maybe get it is Black. Oh,
Storm.
speaking of.
Yeah, goes in onto Black. Feel that Monkey King ult somewhere. No, I'm just lagging. I'm having some issues here, Draskell. Why am I feel like
I don't know. Monkey King didn't even ulti this time.
Is my voice lagging? I think I'm just having Dota lag. Like, processor's fine. We're not dropping frames.
No, you sound fine to me.
Yeah, I think I'm just lagging in game. It's kind of weird. Damn Luxembourg. Well,
It's Perfect World 2.0.
Dude, I'm not going to try to reconnect. This game could end at any second, and I am not going to miss the game-ending fight, even if we have to watch it as a slideshow. But there we go. Roach comes up and goes down. I mean, they're going to go right up the high ground right now, so this could be a game-ender either way. Let's take a look at buybacks, and a lot available this time. Aegis on Troll, and Cheese on the Storm.
God, this is terrifying for Faceless. This is so hard to stop.
Yeah, Ramsey's just in the front lines. He's also got an MKB. I don't know if we mentioned that, but True Strike, just huge damage on him in general. You can tell Virtus Pro, though, they don't know exactly how to do this. They're very cautious to run up to the high ground, kind of respecting the defensive prowess of Faceless at this point.
Yeah, you can actually turn games like this if a team gets too overconfident. You know, we saw one time VP just go a little bit too hard on Ice Ice Ice, and they paid for it.
Yep. Storm zips in. He gets hexed up top, actually. Is this Storm in trouble? He completely isolated himself. Storm's dead. That was
well, time
weird.
to run, I guess.
No, Ramses kind of goes back in here, gets frozen up by the CM Frostbite, takes some follow-up burst damage. Ice 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 comes in. Looks like a buyback's come out now from the Storm. Monkey King ult flies right in the middle. And VP seem to have the resources. Buybacks flying aplenty. Oh my good gracious. Faceless could probably still hold this. Need this Monkey King ult to despawn. This is painful. Traskel, please take it. Tell me what's happening.
Well, they're still technically fighting right now. They're actually going to take the Aegis off of the Troll Warlord right now. Black kind of just sitting in base for the moment. They're going to lose the dieback on the Tinker. So it's technically a 4v5 at the moment. And Faceless are going to back off, but so are VP. They just want to kind of disengage. But in the meantime, they lost one of their tier 4 towers to Megas. So during this whole committal...
Yeah.
Orchid's the creep on accident. Or the replicate, rather. But...
they're going to lose their other tower, too. There's a lot of carts in here. The slideshow is non-stop. My connection to the server is dying.
God.
Take it, Traskel. Take it.
Alright, well at the moment they're actually taking down the Spear Breaker. Solo, he's going to be dropping on the backline as well. Orchid onto Black. XY trying to retreat back to base. No health left. Ramsey's getting pretty low here. Does have buyback. Pops a Satanic though. Glimmer Cape on the Black. Waveforms back into the base. Nuts is actually going to die. He's one of the last heroes on the side of Faceless who actually has buyback. They're going to lose another effigy and the last of the remaining tier 4s, but Mag is dead with no buyout. Ice chasing no one who's pretty low on mana, but looks like he'll be able to TP back to base.
Okay, well, I'm back.
Yeah, that was actually...
that was insane. I would have...
it's pretty close.
Loved to watch it. But yeah, their base is getting pretty crippled.
I don't know if it's like Monkey...
that was just the entire fight. It wasn't
what?
even just Monkey King. It honestly felt exactly like Perfect World. It was just like getting one frame every 3 seconds. So... sorry, folks. I'm really tempted to reconnect, but maybe now's the time. What do you think, Traskel?
I mean, their throne's at half HP, but no one on VP are really even on the side of Faceless map. You're going to have to go pretty fast, though. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be, I think.
All right. Oh, wait. No, they're going... all right, they're going for initiation here. They'll catch the Abaddon. He does have the ultimate, of course. And I think he's fine. Yeah, they're not going to pursue too
Yeah,
much.
he is. He's okay.
Dire's Ancient still taking a lot of damage as they're getting pushed in.
Yeah, the no tier 4s really hurts. That's the biggest portion of damage that VP were able to deal, is that when the tier 4s are up, you kind of have that little bit of a buffer to where you can take the fight, and you know you're not really going to take any like permanent damage. But once the tier 4s are down, then you no longer have the option of being able to freely fight outside of base unless like all 3 lanes are pushed out.
Yeah.
That's like the hardest thing. Like being Megid is one thing, but being Megid without any tier 4s or any other building in the base to absorb creep damage, that means that one hero pretty much has to be in the base forever. Like there has to be one hero who just sits there and kills creeps.
Yeah. Oh, you're completely right. It's almost to the point where VP can just take a fight as a distraction and let the creeps do the hard work for him.
Oh, smoke in!
Oh, VP with the sick backdoor play to finish it off. The smoke right in. They pop the BKBs, and that's the end of the game. VP take game number 1 of this best-of-3 series. What a clutch ending.
Aren't you glad you didn't go reconnect?
Dude, I am so glad I did not reconnect.
You actually could have missed the end of the game if you left the reconnector. That they realized that there was no glyph, and they just smoked in and just beat down the throne.
It was a smart play.
That was no, it was a very good play. It's just kind of anticlimactic.